Hi. Initial D video game series is huge, but it is not really for players who don't like to leave their house or who don't have any arcades nearby. The last Initial D racing game for home consoles came out in 2008 for the PlayStation 3, and the only pure racing game ever released on PC is, well, Mountain Vengeance. But is this going to change soon? This we will try to find out in this video. I was browsing on Steam the other night, and I came across something that really caught my attention. A game just called Initial D. The logo with Initial written in white and the big D in red pavloves you into hearing Eurobeat and wanting to tackle corners of Japanese mountain passes. At the first sight, it seems like copyright infringement, where it will be a matter of time until it gets its cease and desist order. But it is curious nonetheless, so I decided to check it out. The game doesn't have that much info, no release date, no price, but I will take apart all the info that we have. The developer is Pablo Vidaurre Sanz. There is not that much info about him. I don't know if he works alone or in a team, but all the official publishing is done from this person's name. He is based in Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain. His previous works are Tokyo Warfare, an arcade tank battle game with different locations in Japan, its sequel Tokyo Warfare Turbo, and a sole flight simulator called The Last Escape. He also had a game in development called Drifto Challenge that was added to Steam in March 2018, but it was cancelled soon after to work on the PlayStation port of Tokyo Warfare Turbo. In December 2021, he announced that he started working on something big related to the theme of the Drifto Challenge. Probably what has now become the game called Initial D. Now let's watch the only visuals available from the game at the moment. Here is the teaser from the Steam page. The teaser doesn't give that much info on the game. The game is set in the future, the description sounds like the story of MF Ghost, but not a sanctioned competition. The clip is like drone footage, looking like Flight Simulator. It seems like it's done on Unreal Engine 5. It is not impossible that they reuse the assets from their flying game. Let's take a look at the pictures. The road looks actually really nice, but the throbbing on the sides is really pixelated. Also, I don't know if it's the lighting, but the cables look really weird, like they're not going anywhere. For an early screenshot, it looks great, but I'm not completely sure it is actually an in-game image. Maybe it has just been edited to give an impression of movement. There is also one picture that is an aerial view. It is all rendered in 3D, but it looks blurry. It is most likely automatically generated and will be touched up in the future. Now let's read the description. Initial D is an immersive story-driven racing simcade set in the picturesque Izu Peninsula of Shizuoka, Japan. Initial D combines the spirit of classic racing with the thrill of an evolving technological era where AI-driven transport has replaced personal vehicles in the name of efficiency and safety. The mentioning of AI really reminds of MF Ghost. And I don't really understand how the evolvement of technology would affect classic racing, unless the roads are optimized for self-driving cars or something. That is turning into science fiction. Anyway, with a focus on realism, takes full advantage of a complex and highly accurate mobile mapping multi-scan system to recreate every intricate detail of the scenic Toge roads. So the roads will be an ultra-realistic representation of their real-life counterparts. Unleash your skills behind the wheel of iconic 90s vehicles. Feel the adrenaline rush as you navigate hairpin turns, master drifts, and compete against formidable opponents. It's going to have vehicles only from the 90s? I'm sorry, but it is 2047 and we are only driving 50-year-old cars? That's like in Initial D, Takumi would have driven a Toyota AA, Nakasato would have driven a Datsun 17, and the Takahashi brothers would have driven a motorcycle with a bed in the back because Mazda didn't make cars yet back then. It would be nice to at least take an advantage of a futuristic setting to have an option to drive something newer. Alright, main features. Initial D features advanced graphics that recreate an immersive environment with dynamic lighting and realistic materials and surfaces, weather conditions, variable time of day, and real-time reflections, so the graphics should be impressive. The advanced physics engine provides a realistic driving experience, including features such tire deformation, tire temperature, tire wear, aerodynamics, where all the available customizations make a difference, such as camber, suspension, settings, gear ratios, etc. This game really wants to go for the ultra realism in every aspect, doesn't it? That's not a bad thing. Tracks. Most iconic multi-kilometer long mountain roads of Izu Peninsula, including the Kawazu Nanadaru Loop Bridge route. Here is a photo of the bridge in real life. That looks like fun. It's like one of those tornado slides. Game modes. There will be story mode, free roam, racing against AI, and time attack. I don't see any online versus mode sadly. Also, I'm curious about free roam. Will there be a town area? Will it feature the entire Izu Peninsula? Because if it will be just the racing areas for the free roam, I feel it will be unnecessary. There should be something else to explore, no? Modding and customization. Initial D will allow for considerable customization and modification to reproduce and share cars, taking advantage of the same editing tools developed and used by the developer of the game. So all the modders out there can look into this direction. Wishlist Initial D now to stay up to date on the latest news and updates. The game is only supposed to be in English for now, but it says that it will have full audio, so I assume the story mode will have a cast with dialogues and maybe even proper cutscenes. Now, let's go to the bottom of the page and see the system requirements. It doesn't have much info now. The game requires Windows 10, DirectX 11 and at least a GTX 1080. Wow, as a minimum? Wow, and 50 gigabytes of space. That is a lot for an indie game. It will either be a big game with great graphics or just badly optimized. We shall see which one it will be in the future. But as a footnote to the system requirements is some of the most interesting and shocking information I found out on this page. Initial D is an USPTO registered trademark. USPTO is the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Of course, Initial D is a registered trademark, how can it not be? But it is not how you would think it is. The publisher of Initial D manga, Kodansha, first filed to trademark Initial D in the US in 2002 under 3 separate trademarks. One of them they abandoned and the other 2 were approved in 2003 and 2005 respectively. The first of them was cancelled in 2010 and the second one in 2012. After that, there has been no trademark for the name Initial D. In November 2021, it was filed by none other than Pablo Vidaurre Sanz, the developer of this game here. It still is waiting for approval, but he has the right to use the name nonetheless, at least outside of East Asia. The game uses for environment reference and may directly contain data from virtual Shizuoka dataset. This data is made public under CC license. This is where the ultra-realistic environments come from. Virtual Shizuoka is a project to create a digital twin of the Shizuoka prefecture as point cloud data using laser profiling, mobile mapping and other technologies. The aims are to survey the area, help the development of infrastructure, help develop automated driving, etc. All of the data is open source. The availability of this data is probably the reason the game is set on Izu Peninsula. For the people who are still confused about the legality of using the Initial D name, I am not a lawyer, nor do I know much about law, but as much as I understand, if they don't use any story aspects from Initial D, there is no intellectual property infringement. If they get the trademark for Initial D in the US, then they will be free to use the name as they wish in that region. If they don't get it, it might still not be a problem. It is not allowed to name a piece of media after another piece of media if the reason of the naming is to deceive others into thinking that they are connected. I don't know how having the rights for a name in one part of the world works on a global platform such as Steam. Maybe they will have to rename the game on some markets. Even if it's not an official Initial D game, I am looking forward to hearing more about it and seeing how it will turn out. I will try to keep you updated on it as well. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.